Welcome to the show designed to give you crypto confidence. Created by the marketing communications specialists at BlockSparks, we want to help you learn about cryptocurrency and blockchain in a safe and friendly place. Because we believe this stuff is far too exciting to leave it to the geeks. Come and join us to learn more. You're listening to episode 20 of the Crypto Confidence podcast. A nice round number, and it feels like a good milestone to have reached, even though it's taken us some months with our fortnightly schedule. We hope it's going to be a good one for you. A very warm welcome if this is your first time listening to us, and a welcome back if you're one of our growing number of regular listeners. We always really enjoy hearing from you, hearing what you think of the show and what you'd like to hear about next. Now, today's episode is going to be a slightly unusual one. I do seem to be saying that rather a lot lately, but it does feel like we're doing some quite unusual things every episode. For this week's episode, we don't have a single main interview to bring you, but what I wanted to do was bring you back some content and reflections from the Artificial Intelligence and Blockchain Conference in Malta last week. Because I'd love to have taken you all with me so that you could have enjoyed the conference as much as I did. Instead, I took my mic and had some very interesting conversations with lots of different people and really did my best to capture the atmosphere. Now, that wasn't easy because Malta is a very small, very progressive little country. I think it's the smallest country in the EU. It's a beautiful island in the Mediterranean. And what happened during Blockchain Week in this way was this huge event took place. And we're talking about over 300 speakers, over 5,500 delegates. So it really was quite a mega impact for this little country. And it really does seem as though Malta is at the forefront of blockchain regulation. There is an awful lot going on. There are a great many startups. They're making it a very supportive regulatory and tax environment for people to do innovative things with tech. And it's just another good example of small, nimble jurisdictions really leapfrogging ahead of the big older centres of power in the financial world. So I think all eyes are going to be on Malta, Estonia, Gibraltar, and places like that to see what they're coming up with in the next few years. And I really enjoyed my visit to Blockchain Island. I do wonder what impact it's having on Malta as a country, as a capital. I know they've got a long history of fintech innovation and in areas like gambling and insurance. So I do hope that that benefit trickles down to the ordinary Maltese folk like Ronnie, who drove me in from the airport. Hello, Ronnie, if you're listening. You told me you were very proud that Malta was now being rebranded as Blockchain Island, but that you didn't know what a blockchain was. Now, as you were negotiating the traffic outside Valletta, I decided it wasn't the best time to go into it. But as I suggested, this probably isn't the best episode for you, Ronnie. If you're listening, please check back to episodes 2 and 3, where we go into the very, very basics, and then work your way up to this one, which I hope you're going to enjoy. What I've got for you coming up are a series of short interviews with people that I met at the conference. Now, this was my attempt to try and capture the atmosphere live, so you'll get the background noise and everything else that's going on there, but I hope you'll get a sense of the enthusiasm, of the diversity, of the creativity of the different projects who were exhibiting at the conference and expo in Malta. All of their passion that's going into their products. Some of them were looking for investments, some of them were already launched, all bringing different ideas to this space and doing different creative things with blockchain. The first one you're going to meet is determined that we'll soon be able to pay with our cryptocurrencies in store just as easily as we can with our credit cards, with PayPal and things like that. They're building physical terminals to put into stores around the world and make it easy for us all to pay with crypto. So I'll hand it over to them, and then I'll tell you about who we've got coming up next.
Hi, Hi, my name is Sabine Royce. I am CEO assistant at Salamantex, and I would like to tell you a bit about our crypto payment solutions. So what we are building, or what we have built, is a crypto payment software so that people, like normal consumers, can spend their cryptos, what they already have on their wallets, in visual, like in merchants, like food stores, restaurants, clothes shops, car dealers, like supermarkets, everything, also online shops. So we want to make a crypto payment simple to use for everybody all over the world in best case. We have made the crypto payments as simple as paying with a credit card.
Great.
And,
so if I go into a shop, what will I experience if I want to pay using my Bitcoin, for example?
You would need to have your Bitcoin with you, either on a Bitcoin card or on what we also will sell, or on your just normal wallet. You can use any wallet you have.
Great.
Just for example, let's say you have a Dash wallet, then you just go and then the merchant is charging you like let's say £100. So he's just typing in the £100 like he's used to. Then we convert the actual exchange rate after he's chosen the coin, obviously. And then we convert the actual exchange rate. So we do everything in the background, so it's super easy for merchants. Then the QR code shows up, which a client just needs to scan. And then after everything is checked from the wallet side, the payment is done after like 3 seconds around.
Great. So does that fix the price then? Because I know that the crypto prices vary an awful lot.
It's fixed, it's locked, and the merchant is guaranteed to get the £100 minus our fees.
Great. Okay. So whereabouts are you rolling out? Where will we see your terminals?
Right now we are based in Austria. So right now we are rolling out all over Europe. Of course, we check every country before going into regulations, but mostly we roll out in Europe, and we are expanding to Asia and as well to Africa.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to look forward to seeing Salamantex terminals in all the stores that we're using. I hope we'll see you in the UK soon. Thanks ever so much, Sabine.
Thank you.
Next up, I would like you to meet Rutger from Catalaxy, a very different project. Rutger is based in Estonia, which is our spiritual home. BlockSparks is an Estonian registered company, as I am an e-resident. Estonia, like Malta, doing very exemplary things around digital identity and embracing the blockchain. But anyway, the benefits of Rutger's project are going to be felt in very different parts of the world and really illustrate some of the core characteristics of blockchain as an alternative way of doing accounting and economics and currency for a part of the world that needs it very badly. Hope you enjoy this interview.
We just been launched like for 3 months, and what we're trying to do is bring the world of blockchain to Kenya or to sub-Saharan Africa in general.
Okay,
so
why does that matter then? Why do people in sub-Saharan Africa need blockchain?
What blockchain is, in this sort of understanding is starting to emerge. It is an institutional technology.
Okay.
And what that means is that it's a way of creating new rules, economic rules, putting the internet first.
Okay.
So you're taking this global communication device, which is the internet, and now for the first time in human history we're able to build these really difficult things like money, like contracts, like registries. All these kind of things can be built on the internet. That is what blockchain is. And so if you look at Africa, we all know that the institutional quality, so governments, corporations, these centralized actors are really poor in their job. So in other words, it's making Africa poorer than it would otherwise be.
Yes.
So now we can always say from the Western world, like, okay, you're not doing your job. Please do not be corrupt. Please have a good court system. Please have properly enforced contracts. And of course, that's not going to happen in this way. But now blockchain opens up this space on the internet and colonize it with new rules for for young Africans and ambitious Africans to go on there and perhaps engage in e-commerce, perhaps engage in financial contracts with each other.
So we're going round those old corrupt institutions directly to the individuals.
That is the promise, I think.
Fantastic. So tell me about what you're building with Catalexi.
And what we're building is, so we partnered with an e-commerce platform in Kenya, and what we're trying to build and what we're trying to help them with is currency problems, first and foremost. Of course, Kenya has a currency that is volatile and has some inflation. It's not super bad like in Zimbabwe, but still we're talking 6%. And we're talking about some volatility. And maybe it becomes too technical, but what volatility does is it makes trade more difficult, because if the value of a currency is fluctuating, it's hard to plan, right?
Yes, and it's hard for us to imagine, if we deal with euros and pounds, what it must be like to have the value of the money in your pocket change day by day.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. So money is an aid to plan, make your economic activities. Plan, like, okay, this is my budget. Now I can go on holiday. Now I can do this. Now I can do accounting, and I know what to buy and what not to buy, given my goals. If that's underlying currency is not so stable, then it's harder for you to do that. That destroys the economy. So what we're trying to do is build a stable coin that is tailored for the e-commerce platform that we're partnering with, and we make it such that it is zero inflation, meaning the price of it doesn't change over time, which means that people on that platform can plan perfectly, can store their value that they've earned, and not worry about that it is being inflated away while they engage in e-commerce.
That's really interesting, because we think in our developed economies, we think of cryptocurrencies as being risky and volatile, but if your underlying national currency is more volatile than crypto, it suddenly makes an awful lot of sense for everybody to get involved, isn't it?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And one thing I want to emphasize, I don't know if I have the time for that, but is the stable coin space. Maybe your audience knows something about it, but it's quite crowded now, so there's a lot of people trying to innovate in it. And what the basic premise is what the stablecoins are trying to do is peg, so connect their value to a fiat currency like the dollar. So one particular stablecoin would be equal to €1, but then in the blockchain space, which makes it easy to trade worldwide. What we're doing is something different. We're looking at the e-commerce platform. What does the e-commerce platform need? What kind of monetary policy? We're providing them that so that we can optimize trade locally.
Right, okay.
Which is what a monetary policy should do.
So completely separate then from the fiat network, not dependent on it. Anything can happen to the fiat network. Your coin can keep on remaining stable.
Yes, that's the promise of this.
Fantastic. Yeah. No, it's a really interesting project to look out for. How should people get in touch with you if they want to support you or find out more?
Catalexi.com, and look on our website. We're quite young, so we've got our contact information there.
Brilliant.
That should be it.
We'll put some links in the show notes. Thanks very much for making the time to talk to us today, Rick.
Thank you very much for the attention. Yes.
One project we didn't meet in Malta, but to whom I'd like to give a special shout out, is PodCoin, and a warm welcome to anybody who's joined us as a result of our being featured on the PodCoin app. You can get the PodCoin app from your iPhone or Android store, and as well as the joy of listening to podcasts, you can also earn a virtual currency for doing so. So as you can imagine, this was of a lot of interest to us at Crypto Confidence. It's not strictly a cryptocurrency at present, but it does reward you for listening to podcasts, any show you like, not just ours, though you can find all of your favourites on there. And it's really amazing. It turns your podcast listening into currency, and you can use that to get Amazon or Starbucks gift cards. But the best thing about it is you can also donate it to charity. So rather like the interview we've got coming up for you next, you can be doing some good with something that you're doing anyway. And we have a special offer for you. If you go and get the PodCoin app as a new user, you can just use the invite code CRYPTO, and they'll immediately give you 300 PodCoin to start you off just for signing up using that code. So that's 300 PodCoin just for signing up if you use the code CRYPTO. Do give it a try today. And what we'd like to share with you next is an interview with somebody else who's doing some amazing work in the charitable sector with blockchain. You see, it's not all about making money. A lot of money is being given away, and it's really making the world a better place.
Okay, so I'm talking to Davin Broadbent from Dust Aid. Please tell me all about yourself, Davin, and what are you doing at Dust Aid?
So I'm the CMO for Dust Aid, and Dust Aid are basically a charity on the blockchain projects. So we're a social good project, not-for-profit, that wants to use blockchain technology to increase the transparency in charitable donations. So
that sounds great. So what is Dust, first of all? Can you explain that?
Yeah, Dust is a phenomenon that only really occurs in cryptocurrency. So people that trade cryptocurrency on exchanges typically end up with a little bit left over because they can't transact the entire amount.
Yep.
And that fraction of percentage of a coin or currency ends up sitting in their wallet on the exchange and taking up room. And it comes up every time they view their wallet. Now they can't do anything with it unless they add more of that currency to sort of bolster it, and it's often just annoying, incredibly hard to remove, and it is worth a fraction of a cent in most cases. So Dust Aid partner with exchanges to enable that exchange and the customer, if they choose to round up and donate that dust to a charitable cause.
Brilliant. So what kind of causes do you support in this way?
So one of the causes we support at the moment is Little Eddie. So we're really interested in the smaller projects. So we're not a Red Cross. We're not hoping to be a large global infrastructure project. We look after the really small but pertinent charities that can't raise the funds or struggle to raise the funds themselves, but where a little amount really does mean a lot. Little Eddie's one of those. They deal with orphans in Romania and provide them with basically a shoebox which helps them to learn, contain school supplies, gifts, sometimes bits and pieces. And each of those shoeboxes costs a tiny, very minimal amount of money. It makes a massive difference to their lives. So with the donations that we're aggregating at the moment, we're supporting Little Eddie. We have a range of other projects. Space for Giants is one, dealing with the elephants, the elephant crisis. We have a range of humanities projects. We're considering projects every day. I mean, that's one of the problems with charity. There are too many great projects and lots of people need help. So
definitely, and it's very hard to choose good causes. Obviously, one of the things people are concerned about with charitable donations is transparency and making sure that their aid is going to give the maximum benefit. How does the blockchain help with that?
So basically, blockchain increases transparency because it provides an immutable ledger. So it gives donors the benefit of understanding that once a charitable donation has been made, that is now recorded on a blockchain, and the outcome of where that donation is being sent to has accountability, and that accountability provides the transparency in the transaction. So donation comes to us, we take that donation and send it to Little Eddie, for example. The donor can see that their contribution, however much it is or however little it is, has been passed from us to Little Eddie and has been spent on whatever.
So they know it's not soaked up in administration or expenses.
So we are 100% not-for-profit. We don't take any fees. We have a separate revenue model that sustains our business, but we believe that 100% of the money that is donated to a charity or to a cause particularly should go to that cause. It's one of the things that we're really trying to fix as well, is the wastage in charity, and a lot of it's unintentional. So there's a lot of projects that, I mean, every charity, with very few exceptions, all have really good intentions. They're all trying to do really good things. But the problem is you may have one charity that's doing a really good thing right next to another charity that's also doing a really good thing, and they've both invested a lot of money and time in infrastructure.
Yes, and competing with each other's marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we, by providing a blockchain solution, we're hoping that governments and other organisations can effectively set up a bidding structure for charities to say, we need your help here, we'd like to build a school. It just so happens that next to that school we need a well, and it just so happens that down the road from that school we need a hospital. And if all of these things are being built by separate or charities are contributing to support these separately, then we may end up in a situation where 3 different groups of charities raise money to buy a bulldozer, or they buy a range of equipment. They all have 3 different teams. If they're able to fractionalise that project and look at that project as a whole and say, well, Red Cross, you may be able to contribute 20%. I can see you have infrastructure in the area. We may be able to get like a water aid project to come in and help with the well component, and and we break down the project into its incremental components so that we minimise wastage.
Fantastic.
So that's the long-term
So it
view.
benefits the recipients, it benefits the donors because they can see where the aid is going.
Absolutely, yeah, and it just
makes
hopefully
the world a better place.
Well, yeah, it makes it more efficient, hopefully, which is one of the big plans.
That sounds great. So how can people support you and get in touch with you?
So actually, we're launching at the moment with the OWN platform. So OWN are an STO platform. They provide a range of tokenized equity and infrastructure solutions for blockchain. We're allowing people to round up their investment on that platform to support Dunstain. We're also partnering with exchanges, so you will see us around. You'll see us donate to Dunstain or round up and donate to Dust. And they can support us there, and basically reach us via the website, which is dustaid.org, and we're happy to share or give you more information on what we're doing.
Great, well we'll put the link to Dustaid in the show notes, and I think this might be a project that we'd like to invite back for a proper studio interview at some time. So
we would absolutely love to.
Thanks very much for your time today, David.
Really appreciate it, thank you.
What do you think? Would you like to hear more from Davin and the guys at Dustaid and learn more about the potential for charitable giving and social transformation through blockchain projects? I know I would, and so I will really try to get these guys back for a longer interview under slightly quieter circumstances, hopefully. What I love about learning and creating content in this space is that there are, of course, lots and lots of different cryptocurrencies, a couple of thousand of them on CoinMarketCap at the moment, and there's all sorts of products and services around those currencies like wallets and different trading platforms and so on. So if you're interested in money and tokens and cryptocurrency from a purely financial point of view, there's an awful lot to learn about and find out. But I find myself fascinated by the social impact projects and also the way that blockchain and distributed ledger technology can bring new levels of transparency and accountability to different industry verticals, things that we all buy and use all the time, things that we interact with like charities, which suddenly have new ways of connecting us as the donors with the recipients and making that whole supply chain both ways somehow more transparent and clear to one another, and I think that could be so transformative. Now we've got 2 more interviews to share with you. Both of them are about the way that blockchain is disrupting completely different industries. The first of those is about food supply and the second is about fashion. I hope you enjoy. Okay, well, I'm talking to Yelena, who's got a really interesting project to share with us, which is all about blockchain, not about cryptocurrency. Their value isn't something very different.
Yes, that's right. So we use blockchain to work with organic small farms because blockchain was initially designed to give more people power to contribute to a network. Mm-hmm. And it's a ledger that allows you to trade peer-to-peer. Now we use that to sell organic food and from small sustainable farms.
Okay. We've got, is this olive oil, and we've got some, is this alcohol? What have we brought today?
It is alcohol, yes.
Okay.
Of course, we are based around the Mediterranean, so wine is a big thing.
Of course.
This particular bottle we're looking at, it's got really natural colours. The reason for that is that because everything in this wine is completely free of pesticides. It's actually got nothing added to it.
Okay, so it's wine coloured.
Well, so yeah,
the natural, true wine colour.
Exactly. When you make wine, you get. Normally people use sulfur because it's not normally clear.
Right, okay. See, none of us know how our food is made, do we? That's what you're changing.
Yeah, so it's actually difficult to get a clear colour in wine.
Okay.
But that's, a market norm. So what the winemaker normally needs to do is add things after the crop has been picked. So things like sulfate, which our winemakers don't use. So they naturally let it settle and then throw away that bit of the wine just to keep it clear.
So it's a similar process then with the olive oil, that you're concentrating on the really first pressing, extra virgin, that's quality worth paying for.
Well, exactly. We think that there is no need for anyone not to have good food, and there is actually a lot of good food being produced. Only problem is they never make it to the end consumer.
Okay, so how does the blockchain help with that?
Blockchain helps us prove that this has been made in a certain place.
Okay.
And also the Ethereum infrastructure allows you to do smart contracts,
Right.
which means that you can send information two ways. Now, at the moment, this information, well, the system we're using, it mainly contains a chain where it comes from, allowing us to work with various different farms.
So if I was the consumer, I could know exactly where the produce I was buying had been farmed, where it had come from, and the stages and how it reached me.
That's right, but also for me as a CEO of this company, imagine we deal with so many farms.
Of course.
We need to know that information too.
Yeah.
And that's something really empowering about blockchain,
Yeah.
because you can actually transfer data and you can transfer contracts. So further down the line, what we'll be able to do is use agri-tech on these farms and measure things like soil pollution, air pollution, rainfall, and then take that information and feed it back into the system.
Oh, okay. So when we start to find out the secrets for really, really amazing produce, what combination of factors goes to create that vintage year?
Exactly, yeah.
It's very exciting.
And
So
also-
what's your project called? I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I like you to.
Yeah, it's Zoe.
Zoe G. Okay. So is that where people can find out more about you?
That is right, yeah.
So it's zoegi.com. We will put the link to that in the show notes because I think this is a really exciting project, a really interesting non-cash use of blockchain technology and really making great use of the tamper-proof oracle that is blockchain. So thank you very much, Yelena.
Thank you.
Right, so I'm talking to Dr. Tiffany Brown, who has a very diverse background in lots of different business activities, but has just launched a fashion line on the blockchain, which is absolutely fascinating. Tiffany, please tell us about your work.
Thank you so much. This is kind of a new market for us. We've been around since 2008, so roughly about 11 years. We are a traditional business, clothing business. We do business-to-business sales with boutiques in Europe, primarily in Italy and a little bit in Berlin. So we kind of decided that there was a lot of talk through the marketing that people wanted to buy things directly to us. And so that was something in my business model I wasn't really interested in, but I've kind of relented and said, okay, well, I'm going to sell, the full collection, almost like a subscription box. So basically each collection, you buy the whole collection and then you can kind of pick and choose what you want.
So does that mean that I could finally have clothes that actually go with each other?
Yes.
Instead of having to sort of look
And
at this baffling array of stuff and wonder how to put it together.
Absolutely. So I do the monochromatic look. Right now we have the pink collection, spring 2019. So it's a total pink collection in various shades of pink, which can be a lot for people, but I'm a pink girl, so it's fine. But it's a great opportunity for us to kind of expand our market. So one of the things that I decided to do was exclusively only take cryptocurrency.
Yes. Now, what was the reason behind that decision?
So we wanted to go a different route. We did not want to kind of get the usual customer. And so I feel like cryptocurrency is the wave of the future in the U.S. Whole Foods is taking cryptocurrency, Target, Walmart, all the major, it's kind of the wave and the direction we need to go. It's really more protected. You don't have to deal with a lot of fraud quite as much.
Okay, yeah.
So from a fat standpoint and dealing with a lot of processing fees and all kinds of other things. So that's the direction we decided to go. And in addition to that, we also decided to describe or go ahead and create and launch a blockchain system, a private blockchain system where you can authenticate the clothing, because we're moving away. We used to be an affordable brand. We're moving into more of the luxury brand because of the immersion of fast fashion. We're at Fashion Nova, H&M, where from start to finish, a jacket can be created within 2 weeks.
Yes.
That's something for an indie designer that's a little difficult to manage as far as the bandwidth. So this gives us an opportunity.
Well, I'm sure there's a consumer backlash coming against this kind of fast fashion and the ethics of it and the disposability of our culture.
Absolutely. Particularly the factories, how much people are getting paid to make the things, and because a lot of times people are making their items in Thailand and other places with under minimum wage, people working over 24 hours, whereas now you can kind of, if a luxury brand, people can take their time and deal with the quality of the work, the quality of the fabric, and how people make a decent living, because that's really what it's about. It's not just about the designer making a good living, but also everyone from the supplier of the fabric to the person who actually sold the clothing. That's what it really is about.
Fantastic. So if I buy some of your clothing, not only can I actually look like I have a look for the first time in my life, I could actually know where it's come from, who's been involved in creating it.
Absolutely, and you will see it every step of the way. You'll be able to see the supply chain when it left the factory, when it comes to you, it will come with an authenticated ID, which is really important because, it's been an issue for me earlier in my career where people will knock off your items, and so they'll see your items, they'll see your sketches. Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to make it, faster. That's what fast fashion does. I mean, they're knocking off, major designers. So we're also going to allow other luxury brands to utilize our blockchain. So it won't just be for Tiffany Brown Designs, it'll be for everyone. So I think it'll be a great opportunity.
Okay, so we should see this scaling out across the fashion industry.
Absolutely.
Consumers are becoming so much more concerned about fair trade and about using natural fabrics and things like that. Now you'll be able to give them proof.
Yes, absolutely. Authenticating the items, particularly because it's kind of like art. If you're going to pay thousands of dollars for something, you want to make sure it's real. You want to make sure there's exactly what they said it's going to do. It's the good quality, it's ethical, and you will be able to see every step of the way. Instead of presenting you with a finished product, you have no idea where it came from.
Excellent. So apart from the look that you're wearing today, where can I see your designs?
So you can go to my website, tbrownltd.com, and you can take a look at our pink collection, as well as I think on the website it lists the other boutiques that do the business stuff. But we're trying to mitigate away from that and kind of have more control over the environment. But yes, I'm so excited.
Well, we'll put the links to that in the show notes, and you can all check out the new Tiffany Brown collection. Thanks very much for talking to Crypto Confidence.
Thank you so much.
So I hope that gave you a little bit of a flavour of the AI and Blockchain Summit from Malta in May 2019. Not the easiest thing to convey in audio, but I wanted to capture some of the diverse range and exciting enthusiasm about all the different projects that were exhibiting there and sharing their work. If you found that interesting and would like to discuss it with us further, please come on over to our Facebook community. Just go to the search bar in Facebook and put Crypto Confidence Community in. You'll come straight to us. Or if it's easier, simply type cryptoconfidencepodcast.st/community directly into your browser and you'll land in there with us. You can also see the video that I captured at the conference to give you even more of a flavour of the atmosphere. Now, for our next episode, we'll be returning to our slightly more usual programming, a single in-depth interview. I'll keep you guessing for now as to who that is, but if you've got any suggestions, please come and share them with us on Facebook. If you prefer, just tweet us at CryptoConfPod or drop me an email, maya@blocksparks.io. However you prefer to get in touch with us. We really appreciate your attention, your listening to what we have to share with you, and we really want to make the Crypto Confidence show exactly what you want it to be. So please share with us whatever you would like, and we'll be talking to you again very soon. Thanks for listening to Crypto Confidence. If you like what you hear, please do consider leaving us a review via your favourite podcasting app and joining the conversation online in whichever way you prefer. Full contact details are in the show notes for this episode. And remember, nothing in this podcast or our related social media, nor anything else published by BlockSparks OU at any location, is intended as financial, investment or trading advice. Everything we write or say represents our personal opinions for your information, education and entertainment only. You should not make any decisions based on anything we share with you, not without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with appropriate professional advisors. Crypto Confidence is all about being smart and informed and making the right choices for you.